title of the narrator saying in the final actually made me think of something. But if I remember, we'll get to that later. We actually got the chapter one day earlier than before. Is that good sign or bad sign? Well, who cares? We got it, right? However, we'll see what that means. The angry anime fan, the despair reviewer, here to bring you Eden Zero chapter 27. And first of all, a cover page of a boobs and butt pose made by Sister Library. Oh yeah, and she is holding a staff for some reason. I mean, doesn't really fit with her nun powers, but then again, the text doesn't again either. As I said before, she may look like a sister, but she does not have the mouth of one. Because here she says, "My secret, if you want to know, you better kneel down." Yeah, a real dominatrix like personality. Either way, in this one, the panic still keeps on as people still try to get off the planet. We don't know what happened to the beekeepers, but we can assume they did made it out of the planet because they said this port had a lot of spare ships. But Pino and Rebecca are waiting. As they are alone, Pino apologizes for having said that thing. Although, well, apologizes maybe not, but she does says she's glad that Rebecca went after Miss Coppa. I mean, I don't think Pino is not. I mean, how do we say this? Pino is capable of feeling emotions. It's just that there are sometimes some moments that I think are more higher priority for her rather than just emotions. So, but in the end, everything went well. So she is glad that Rebecca did save Copa. Well, either way, as she tells Rebecca that Shiki made a new friend, it's worth noting that Rebecca found that a bit scary. I think the reason why she said that is because, well, as you know, one of Shiki's declaration as they sailed away from his home world was, "I'm gonna make 1,000 friends," and she said, "Well, good luck with that." And then yet he made a new friend this fast. That's what the reason was. But then suddenly tree roots, or well, yeah, maybe tree roots, begin to sprout from the ground as the ether of this planet is going crazy. Once again, we get to that thing. As Happy once upon a time said, ether exists in all life forms, even in the planets. And the wood ether of uh, um, of the guilds is going crazy because uh, because the ether of the planet is counterflowing the closer the chronophage is getting to the planet, and unfortunately it creates a crack on the ground that Rebecca falls in. As Pino screams in worry, the hero finally arrives, and it's Shiki who managed to grab onto uh, Rebecca in a hug, as well as making him float up, as he says that we're friends, so I'll always be there. As Homura and Sister Ivory appears, she's still being uh, her foul-mouthed self saying, "Disgusting, the trees look alive." Yeah, far cry from a real sister. As Homura says that maybe it's not the time to introduce herself, they finally see Eden Zero. Unfortunately, the huge amount of trees is blocking the path as the witch and Happy communicates through Pino. I guess that's one way also to see her usefulness. Pino is not only a camera for the witch and the rest, she can also be a communication thing. And unfortunately, the trees just keep on growing, making it impossible for Eden Zero to land and get them up. So Homura and Wise decides to do the more well, I wouldn't say the barbaric way, but I would say let's the Leroy Jenkins way or something. No, maybe that's not the right word either. Well, let's just say they're planning on let's just break through this all. And Homura's here's worth noting that Homura's next attack, Dance of the Leopard Claw, changes the sword again. I mean, she is dual wielded again, but this time the sword looks long. But that's not what makes this a little bit more strange. It's worth noting that the sword takes on a little more of a darker color this time. almost like it's fire. I mean, we still don't know the true ability of Soul Blade, or why that shape was there. It seems that she likes to call her attacks based on cats, because the first attack she did was based on a cheetah, right? Then this is based on a leopard. But once again, we got a clue that, well, we don't got a clue. We still don't know a single bit what Homura is or who she is. That will eventually be solved, at least I hope so. But again, we do find out that yes, she is definitely more than we think. I mean, I know what you're saying. Uh, Duh, angry. And what I mean to say is, yes, I know, I know, I know. It's just that uh, sometimes things can be coincidence, but it's clear that for Homura's case it's not, because even Sister recognizes that sword. Once again, proving that the ability of Soul Blade has definitely been seen by the rest of the four-star divas. Um and perhaps implying that if Homura is telling the truth about Homura's of the ether gear being passed down by her master, very likely then that that master has confronted the Eden Zero crew before. While Wise rearranges his rifle into a flamethrower, showing Atlas Flame. Uh, they do manage to create a path. Unfortunately, the trees grow too fast for them to break through. So, but they are close enough that they open a hole. As Shiki tells the witch that she don't need to land. I'll be the landing. She grabs onto Rebecca and Wise grabs onto Homura, and the sister grabs onto Pino and Rebecca as Shiki uses the ether gear, and they float their way to Eden Zero, or fly. I mean, depending on how you say. Technically, since Shiki's power is gravity, they don't fly; they float. But I guess in a way you could call that flight. That scene when Shiki grabs onto the rest and the rest grabs onto each other while float or fly that way is actually a very good picture. It is almost like an entire group of friends heading towards their destination. It's worth noting that even all of them, uh, and it's even more fun when they all say that gravity is pretty amazing, so this is the Demon King's strength, and let's go. Basically, they're falling. Even the sister makes once again her a little bit more so nice smile as they land on the inside of the Eden Zero. They do full thrust. We don't see Eden Zero leave, but we can all safe assume as it leaves. As then suddenly the narrator summarizes what happened as the chronophage reached Gills and ate the time. And do you know how much time it ate? Well, in Norma it ate 50, but in Guilds it ate about 1,200 years. And that actually creates a very sad theme of it all. Do you recall what a previous chapter said of an old man and a drunk lady or whatever saying they were going to stay behind because the old man hoped it would make him young and the lady hoped to see it more in a heyday? Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon because, well, they just were erased from existence. As the witch says, the time that the chronophage eat is always random. But what I said in the beginning about is this a coincidence? Well, maybe I didn't say that it's a coincidence, but the narrator says this day will be known as the day of guilt's purification, as a planet fueled by money and lust. Almost ironically, the disaster returned it to a more prosperous time, eating away many lives and eating away 1,200 years of time. What am I trying to say about that? Well, it's the line when they said the guilt's purification. We still don't know a single thing about the chronophage. As of yet, it appears that the chronophage is just a natural disaster, appearing random and then eating a planet's time. The thing is, though, it appears to arrive very frequently, and we do not know what the chronophage is. Is this just a monster being of time, or is it more? I mean, granted, in fairy tale, Acnologia was also a natural disaster, but later we find out it was more of a insane evil type of natural disaster. Is the chronophage the same, or is that just something else? It's because what is a time eater? What I'm trying to say here is the line when they says the day of guild's purification almost sounds like it did the planet justice. You know, is the fact that they mentioned that the planet was fueled by money and lust, and now is more of a prosperous time. What am I trying to say? This well, what I'm trying to say is this a very bad theory of uh, could it be that the chronophage is not a creature of instinct, but a weapon? I mean, can the Galactic Federation have created it? Because if you think about it, so far the planets we know that it has eaten has all been fueled by dirty money and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say is if the guilds no, if the chronophage is a weapon that was created by someone, is it possible that that one created it for great justice and in order to and then synced it on the planets of corruption in order for it to eat that away and cleanse it? I mean, that sounds like a very stupid theory. It's just that we don't know a single thing about the chronophage. Is it a weapon, or is all of this just pure coincidences and instincts? I mean, the fact that the narrator says it's very ironic that it returned guild to a more prosperous time makes me wonder. When it ate it at the other previous planet, it created a thick cloud which made it impossible for any normal people to leave. Now I wonder, will that have done the same to guilds, or is it now a fresh start? It's now a planet of pure nature. It did eat away a lot of life, but it's also now fueled no of new life. No longer any corruption. I'm just saying it sounds a little bit coincidental, but maybe it is. So yeah, Stella chapter. This effectively means that the guild's arc is finished. It was pretty short but sweet. I mean, granted, I liked it, and I wanted it to be short. But once again, I'm a little bit afraid. What am I afraid of? Well, it's okay for me that the arcs are going fast. It's just that sometimes they're going so fast that I actually wonder, does that mean that this manga is already heading towards its end? I mean, it's just something about it that makes me worry. The manga is supposedly selling well. Even the page of the first manga of no, the first page of this manga said that the second volume is selling with hot reviews. So, I mean, I still don't know where the story is heading. But the next chapter is called New Friends. Is that implying that the beecubers are now gonna gather and having a party, or is something else? Well, I think it's just gonna be a planet of no, not planet, a party of getting to know each other. But maybe we'll finally get a clue about Homura's intentions later. So give me your thoughts if you have any.